Hello friends, welcome to my channel Go Digit. Today in this video we will learn about the concept of XML comments in AL language. So as you can see from my screen, I have opened one article of Microsoft which I will share in the description section as well. Uh, Basically, what this concept says is that in Business Central, we can add the documentation directly in our source code by including XML elements in special comment fields before the block of code that the comment refers to. Right, so this is just a simple statement. And as what we can understand from this is that uh, when you write your source code in the A language, when you are building any extension, it is very important that if any other developer wants to read our code, or after few months, even if you want to read your code to understand that why you have written that function, why you have introduced that object, what is the use case of it, then you have no option but to read the entire code, which is obviously not at all easy, and especially when you are reading the code of some other developers, right? Then there is a need for every individual, for every developer, that if there are certain uh, comments available in the layman language, in easy language, so that everybody just read that and understand that why any developer have introduced this new object or have this introduced this new function, then it becomes so easy to understand the entire object and entire use case of that particular function or the object. Right. So this like this concept of adding XML elements before the block of code is nothing but denotes the documentation comments only. Right. So this is the entire concept of XML comments, and there are by default certain supported XML tags are available, which you can see from this list like summary, param, returns, example, remarks, right? Para, bold, italic, list, and this is the list syntax as well, which you will use also, right? And they have provided some standard code units concept as well. For example, email code unit AL. So this is the standard code unit where how they have added this XML comments. Like they have added the summary tag, and then it provides a functionality to create and send emails. So anybody, as soon as they open this code unit, they can read this statement and understand that, okay, whatever the code is written inside this object will denote the functionality of creating and sending an email only. And then in the procedure also, above this procedure also, they have added the comments. Okay, and not only this is providing the summary of why this procedure is there, but also describing the parameter, that what is the use of this parameter, right? And then we have the concept of special symbols as well. For example, to write down in a comment greater than and less than, we have to use these special symbols like ampersand less than, which is LT, ampersand GT, which is means ampersand greater than. Okay. So how to use this? For example, this property always returns a value that is less than, then semicolon, then one, and it will when you see the documentation, it will gets converted into less than. Okay, so let's understand in the new object itself that how it will look also. So for example, this is my standard like normal custom code unit, and I've just added two procedures into it, and nothing, no code is added. Okay, so how to add these XML comments into this new object? So for example, to describe or to add a documentation for the entire object, you have to add those XML elements before your like how your object before your object actually starts, right? So we just have to add three slashes, and then you can see the IntelliSense is showing me this documentation command. Just select this, and now you can see that summary element or summary tags automatically gets added. Now, whatever I will write here, this is code unit object, and we will learn XML comments. Okay, so I'm done. Okay, in case you want to add anything, of course you can add. However, uh, there is nothing left. What I just want to show you, for example, if I have written this summary tag, how it will look. So, for example, I have created one sample object, and here I've created a variable of my code unit, in which I have added the comments. So now, if you place your cursor here, you will see this line. This is the code unit object, and we will learn XML comments. Okay, so this actually happens when you add a documentation. So not only second developer have this feasibility that they can directly go to this object and then read the documentation, but even if they don't want to and they just add a variable, then also after adding a variable, if you hover your cursor there, it will describe you the summary of what exactly this object belongs to, or what actually the purpose of this code unit. Okay. Moreover, like if you want to add multiple lines and into the summary section, then the best way is that I can add para, right? Which means that uh, because if you want to write multiple lines, like 10 lines, 20 lines, whatever it is, then it is good that you divide your statements into the paragraphs, which will be easy to read, understand, and readability gets increased when you add the parameter stacks. So, right? So, like for example, I can close this as this para one, and then I can add para again, and then I can add the second paragraph. This is the second paragraph to increase readability, right? So let's see how it will look, and you can see that this is the first line or the first paragraph, and then there is a space out there, right? Which actually clearly telling me, or it is easy to understand to read that okay, it looks nicer, right? So this is how uh, if you want to write multiple lines, then it becomes so easy to read, to understand that where the paragraph ends and where the second statement now starts uh, running and so on, right? So this is actually happens when you add the parameter tag. Of course, if you want to highlight something, then there are certain tags available. For example, this denotes bold, right? And this denotes italic, right? Sorry. So if you see it now, you will see that increase gets bold and readability is showing me as in an italic form. So based on these tags, you can highlight something and you can change the look how your word actually or the statement or the complete statement looks like. Right. So this is the use case of this summary tag. Of course, like there are other tags as well. For example, we have this tag called list. Okay. Now, list type is something where you can add, as we can understand from this, uh, where it is, yeah, from this syntax that list type could be bullet, number, or table, right? So let's say if I write down number, okay. So now it takes two more, what I can say is elements. which is list header and item. Okay, list header also contains term and description, and item also contains term and description. So let's add it accordingly. For example, I can add list header. Okay, and then inside this, I can add term, which means that it's in header. Okay, I'll show you. You will understand that when I will show you the look now, how it basically looks, you will understand that what basically I can input, what type of content I can input here. Okay, it's a term, and then if you want to add some description, you can do so. Otherwise, we will do it later. But let's see. It's a list header. Okay. Now I can add item. Okay. So in the item, again I can add term, which can be, let's say, line item one, and then I can just copy this complete tag. Let's say like this. Okay. So I can input here line item 2 and line item 3. And then I have to close my list type, which will be list. That's it. Okay, so we have added the list and then list header and then multiple items. So let's see how it basically looks when I, now you can see that this is basically my list header, right? This is the list header section. This is the item section. And this 1, 2, 3 is coming up because I have added the type as number. In case I just change this number into, let's say, bullet, then it will turn into the bullet form like this. So this is actually happening because of the list type. This is actually happening because of the uh, list header term, and then this is happening because of the item terms. Of course, if you want to add more into it, we can add the description as well. Okay, header description. Let's say give a space here, and then description line one summary. Okay, let me copy this and paste it here and paste it here. Line 3 summary and line 2 summary. Okay, let's go back here and see. And now you can see that description gets added after this particular uh, term. And then for this also, this is the term section, this is the description section. Okay, and this is coming a little bit space is coming because I've given the space. Otherwise, it will just die out. Okay, so it's totally depends on you and your intellect, like how basically you want to give more summary out of it, or because now in the AL we have the AL documentation concept as well, which we will learn gradually, maybe next week. This whole documentation which you will add in your object as in the form of XML comments will get converted into that a complete kind of a document which just like you see here, right? So we can create such type of a documentation using the AL doc format, and this all is happening because we are adding these XML comments, right? Let's see. For example, we have added the enough comments or enough documentation for my complete object. But let's say we have to add the description, the comments for these procedure as well. So same concept goes here. If you press three or if you type three slashes and just press enter, it just automatically detect that if there are any parameters into it, then it adds those elements as well based on whatever number of parameters you have, right? So summary of the procedure, and this is integer parameter one, okay, and this is integer parameter two, right? So how easy it becomes that if anybody now call this procedure, they will easily get to know that what this procedure is all about and what are the use case of these parameters, right? You can see that I have hovered my cursor and it is showing up. Same like if I add tag here, and you can see that now not only it added the summary parameter name, but it also returning the data type decimal, right? Because I have added the return parameter as well, so it added this return element tag as well. So I can explain here as well that it returns decimal value and record type parameter, and then this is second procedure. I don't go with what I am writing, it just nothing, but obviously you have to write a proper statement, proper words you have to choose, which can uh, clearly describe the intention of your procedure of or your object, right? So let's say if I, for example, type here hello world dot, you can see that I have addition, so it is showing me the summary of my addition, and then if I choose find top customer, so it is showing me the summary of that. So if I select this one, okay, so I can select my parameter, right? So this is basically very become very helpful for the developers, for your buddy developers, that if they want to understand why you have introduced this object, why you have added this procedure, they can directly go to that object and read these terms, read these comments to understand that what is the use case of this, right? So this is all about the XML comments for this week. I hope you like this video. If you like it, request you to please hit the like button and please subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching this video.